The Couch Deals are brought to you by the VLG Studio, the community for people with a story to tell.
You're now tuned in to the Couch Stealers Anime Podcast.
And guess what? You can't beat me because I'm the principal of Sans. Oh my god, he about to he got a hand. Let's go. He's having a full-on Shinji Ikari. Why am I fighting this thing?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Y'all already know. Welcome back to the Couch Dealers. It's the one and only Meister Mikey J.
And it's your boy AU.
Yo. Listen to us all across our socials. Follow us all across our socials as well at Couch Stealers. And subscribe to the Couch Stealers YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. Also, so you never miss a drop. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you watch this episode and other videos and shorts that we got going on. AU, welcome back. Welcome back. We appreciate you. How was your trip? How was your weekend? I let the people know.
I had a nice weekend, man.
Nice.
It was not everything I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, it was nice for me to just get away.
Facts, bro.
I felt like there's like if I took days off and just stayed at home, a staycation's always nice. But even if it's just like not that far away, stayed away, and you're just not home for an extended period of time, that refresh is so important. Man, listen, it's just getting out of your everyday. Is so important.
Just
so
a little bit.
Just a little bit, man. And so I say that to say this, to everybody who's feeling a little stagnant in their life, just try something different. They say that the only way to grow is in a state of uncomfortableness. So,
damn, I didn't want you to be uncomfortable this week. I just thought you was.
Oh no, I wasn't. I wasn't, but it was out of my norm. It was out of my everyday life that I've been living for like the past 5 months.
Yeah, I got you. Honestly, I was just talking to the wife. We were saying the same thing. Like we got to get away. We definitely got a vacation on the horizon soon.
Yeah,
so.
And I can't wait. I'll be in Puerto Rico next month, actually. So, quick little reminder on that for you, because I won't be able to record.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, what's up there?
I didn't think about it at all.
You for letting me know, AU. I appreciate you for letting me know.
I am gone the 18th, 19th, and the 13th. I'm coming back that Monday.
Yeah.
So depending on what time I get back, we may be able to record on that Monday.
Yeah,
we can have it off. We can do a little something. Yeah, I'll be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We gotta jump into this anime. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of stuff that happened this week. But actually, before we get into the anime, let's get into the anime.
Let's get into animation.
Yes, because there's something that's been crazy. The War of Mark Grayson happened in Invincible this past week, and I need to say, as somebody that again has read all of Invincible, this is one of my favorite parts because it was so nuts. It flipped. How you feeling about watching this, AU? How this episode?
Listen, man. It wasn't even just this episode. It was just the beginning of it. Wherever this story is about to go, this arc is like, I can just tell already it's going to be nuts. First and foremost, not last episode, but the episode before that, just seeing that Angstrom Levy was alive. I don't know how he got his brains bashed in like that. Half of his brain is gone. Before he had the brain to go all the way down the back.
Yep.
And now it's just like, big brain.
But that's the thing about it that was so crazy was that like how he survived that makes no sense outside of like comic book, and animation, because he got beat to a literal pulp.
No, even in comic book and just anime, whatever, anything animated, that was still a wild thing to live through.
That was a lot.
I thought he just died because, trauma, blunt force trauma for sure. You know what I mean? I thought he just got really beat the fuck up and he died. It happens to even normal people on a regular basis. No, he splattered his shit everywhere. And it was nasty.
It was.
Jaw split open like the vampire things from Blade 2. You never seen Blade 2? No way.
No, of course I've seen Blade 2.
Okay, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, come on, bro.
I was like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, anywho's, listen, the whole entire Mark from Different Dimensions thing was just the icing on the damn cake of knowing Angstrom didn't die. And then I was like, that's really crazy. And then I was like, holy fuck, how the fuck are they going to get out of this?
How are they going to get out of this? Yeah.
And all I could think about was Alan and Nolan have to show up.
So let me say this, because I want to give my thoughts on the way that they executed the episode too. Because first off, I thought it was done incredibly well. And again, Invincible's been knocking this out of the park. And this is why anytime you are going to create something that's already has source material, follow the damn source material. It's not that hard. Like, you can tweak things, certain things, like, again, Shrinking Ray had was male in the show.
Yeah.
Same thing with Green Ghost. Like, you could tweak things, bring characters, because that relationship never happened with Rex. But I genuinely loved watching that.
Don't even say his name right now. I was going to get into that later.
Listen. It was such a great slow build, and that's something that they added into the story. So that's something that you can do that's nuanced while also keeping to the source material. So they've been so impressive with that.
AKA, keep the points that really matter. Take your liberties in between.
Yes, but not so much that the liberties skew.
Yes, the actual point. Yep.
Yeah,
completely agree.
I love watching that story. So seeing how that all was happening and the way that they were able to take the source material, bring everything in, have all the marks show up, have it be terrifying, but it was executed over a way that it felt suspenseful the whole episode. I was like, I know what's happening. I know how this like ends up and everything, but it's so suspenseful because day 1, day 2, day 3, like, you're sitting
day
there,
1,
like,
and then seeing the destruction that's occurring is just like you almost think it's not going to end.
Yeah. Or how, like, this is the show now.
Or yeah, like, you know how when Invincible went to the other dimension or whatever and stopped in Immortal.
Yep.
What if we got there? And Mark is over here like basically future Gohan. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
one arm or something like that. Just out here still fucking with Marks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. But yes, Invincible fucked me all the way up. Let's because you already mentioned his name.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling, man? How you feeling about shout him out? Yeah, Rexplode. We lost him this
fucking
week.
Explode, man.
Went out like a G too.
Did you ever think he wasn't gonna go out like a G?
I mean, the way he did it, and even it was so Rex because he was like, they can't tell when I'm lying. He truly thought that he got them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just
they fucking knew, bro. But that's not even that is not even the point. It was just pure Rex fashion. He was just lying to himself the whole fucking time, and I can't believe how great of a character that was developed within the span in which they gave us this character.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure Invincible is going to go for obviously much more seasons.
Quite some time.
Exactly. So with that being stated, it hurts me so much to see such a well thought out character just kind of who ended up becoming my favorite character. I just said this shit like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And for him to be gone.
I felt so bad for you when you said it too. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was like, damn, why you had to say that?
I am hurt, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was sitting there, I paused it, and I just stared at the screen. I was so hurt, man. I was like, Rex is easily, as of right now, the best character in terms of character development as of right now where we are within the show.
Okay, I can see.
No one's developed better than
because
him.
He was such an asshole,
dude.
He was almost unwatchable at certain times.
Yes, at certain times,
not being childish like this.
And then you get his backstory, and he's talking about, like, you know, who he is as a person, why he is this way, recognizing why he's this way. Like, the growth was crazy. My boy was becoming aware, and I was just like, yes. And then him and Ray would have been great.
I was sad to see again. I love that storyline because it also seemed like, and you know how I am with like the romance stuff in these shows. I love it, and so he was
also basically Gambit. Sorry.
I know, and people have made that comparison to X-Men 97 too.
I love Gambit.
He went out like Gambit did, but the reality is, it was so funny to watch, at least from my perspective, knowing where we were going to be, and like, I genuinely grew to love Rex in the way that they took his character, and seeing
it the same in the comics?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Rex is a
continue on your point. Hold on. Continue on your point then. All right.
Rex is a much more minor character in the original source material than he was here. Like he's there, but he doesn't have. They fleshed him out so much more in the show. They did. Because that's where I go back to that whole relationship with Shrinking Ray. They were able to flesh him out more through that relationship, and I thought that was such a great way to deliver that and still have so much growth with the show, because the show, as you're watching it, you're growing with the character. You're seeing
100%
get more and more. And I love when he was just like, he would catch himself. He was like, yo, I'm trying to be better. I'm not really. And then he's the only one who stood up to Immortal when they were like, yo, this was messed up what they did to Mark. We got to get out of it. Like, Rex started to grow into that leadership role that you would think of a superhero that could lead a team. He was becoming 100%.
Wow, I didn't even get to that part, like in my thought process about Rex. So that I just hate to cut you off. I just think that's a really great point. He really was turning into that team leader kind of character and hero.
And so now, seeing that he's gone and the effect that that's going to have, I am interested to see if they go that route with the effects that it could potentially have on the team. But watching that and seeing the length and at least how important that event was with all the Marks attacking and how crazy this is just going to make the world, because even the way that they had Powerplex from the previous episode, shout out Aaron Paul, like having him come back just to be like, yo, y'all don't see he keep messing everything up, bro. Y'all don't see this?
I ain't gonna lie to you, that shit pissed me off so much, because I was just like, I was just having a conversation with someone the other day about like the perception of a person versus knowing exactly who they are as a person. And like, it was pissing me off because I was like, no one should be listening to this man. But after everything that just happened, it's like, we probably gonna listen to this man.
A little bit.
Everybody knows it's not Mark. Everybody knows Mark had nothing to do with that shit. But at the end of the day, I just saw a whole bunch of different Marks fuck up whole motherfucking shit. Nah. Even me, I'd be like a little irrational in that regard.
It's something that I think is, out of all the Marvel movies, and I will quote Vision here, I think is one of the most underrated quotes of that entire, like, of the whole MCU, was when Vision, and I want to say this was in Civil War, I think it was Captain America Civil War, when he was like, our very existence creates challenge. And so I feel like that's where Mark falls into, where it's like him just being a Viltrumite on Earth just gonna cause problems, bro. Just shit gonna just keep coming at him just because he's a Viltrumite on Earth. So that's why
not even just being a Viltrumite in general. I think just being a Viltrumite is that challenge.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because like if Mark wasn't a Viltrumite, all the other Marks wouldn't have did shit like that in the other dimensions.
All the Marks did so much bad stuff. All the Marks did so much bad stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
and one of them just wanted his mom back. Stop playing, because if Angstrom killed Mark's mom,
it would have been over. He would have had another Mark to deal with.
We might have had another Mark to deal with.
That's actually a really interesting point. I never thought about that. That is a very interesting point. I'm curious to see, now that we have gotten to this point, how much faster they're going to go, because I've been very happy with the pace in which the show is going.
Very phenomenal.
Especially seeing, again, how much more there is to have. Like, my highlight this season still was when Battle Beast showed back up. Because I'm like, yes, I didn't know. I was like,
savagery.
Battle Beast. Oh my gosh, I was like, Bro, you don't understand how happy Battle Beast was to keep punching that dude in the middle of space. Like, they were just floating in and
like that's all he needed in life.
Nowhere else in the entire universe he would have rather have been.
Exactly. Completely agree. My man just wanted a fight to the death. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. He wants a fight to the death, and unfortunately, they have to believe in like Odin's son. Like, he has to be like, you know what I mean? To die in battle is like the only true glory. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's trying to get to Valhalla.
And what if he never ever found anybody that could ever kill him? I'd be frustrated too. It's like, damn, bro, I'm never gonna get to Valhalla. I gotta go find a nigga that can fuck me up. Hey, yo, can you whoop my ass?
Yo, wait, there's a whole race of y'all?
Yes, bro.
One of y'all gotta be able to do it. But I ain't gonna let you get this for free.
Nah, definitely not.
So I've
Definitely
been
not.
really excited with the way and the direction that they've been going with the pacing of the show. So I'm interested to see what is going to happen next, because I mean this is the next episode is going to be our finale. This is going to be the last episode of the season.
I mean,
so,
look who showed up.
Cliffhangery is very much afoot here. I think we end up in the cliffhangery place.
I remember when you first introduced. Well, you didn't introduce me because we watched it separately. But however, I remember the first time I watched Invincible, and in episode 1, or was it episode 1? But when they first showed the Viltrumites, and I saw the one bald head, white haired motherfucker, and I knew Viltrumites did not age for nothing.
Yep.
And I remember talking to you, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this motherfucker?"
And the funny part about
I said, "What if this dude is that strong? What the hell is he gonna be like? Who's going to beat him?"
You want to know what's so funny about that? I completely forgot about that moment until just now, and no, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when you said it, I laughed and I said, "Did he just recognize Conquest? Like and that tells you everything you need to know. You ain't know nothing about Conquest, but as soon as you saw him, you was like, hey, yo, some tell me the old one gonna be kind of strong, yo."
This motherfucker is gonna be a problem.
Oh God, like he's a character that I will like. I'm happy he's on, and they got what's it called, Negan playing him.
No way.
Yeah,
okay.
because they was making a joke.
I don't know his name, but he's forever Negan for me.
They said that he go hit Sean Yui with the bat again. Listen, yo, y'all in the internet world, y'all are undefeated sometimes.
You know what the best part about this is? He don't got the bat this time. Like, he's the main character now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the bat is now in his hands. He may not be ready to fully beat Negan's head in, but I can't wait to get that fucking that revenge. That's fire goodness. When you think about it.
No, I said people were talking about it. It was a very, very good point, because I didn't realize that's who was the voice of the character, and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect." That was perfect.
I didn't realize because I think I was in shock about him just showing up.
That's what I was gonna say. So, again, I remember this as being such a major part of the comics. So I was prepared. I didn't know they were gonna do it, but when it happened, it was like when Omni-Man killed everybody. I knew Omni-Man killed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show it to us the way they did in the animation. They just went panel, boom, everybody's dead, and Omni-Man's covered in blood. It was just so we didn't see the savagery.
That's completely different. Oh, they're doing a phenomenal job with
that's what I'm saying.
They're just giving so much justice.
That's what I'm saying. So, getting to that point, understanding where everything is with Conquest showing up, I'm very excited to see what the next steps are going to be just for that alone. So
again, just to kind of go back to where we were with the whole Rex thing and the pacing portion of it, just how they're able to develop someone that great and still keep pacing with the main exact show. And everything that happens is the intent is always there. It's they want you to feel something in this moment. You're going to feel something in this moment. They want you to be in shock. And that doesn't happen often where you're in shock with a show on a regular basis. No. Honestly, the closest thing I can think of right now is Solo Leveling, potentially, where it's it's not necessarily shock, but you got that excitement, that adrenaline watching the show every single episode just about. Okay. And I feel like the intent with Invincible is always there. If you're in shock, they want you to be in shock, and you're going to get it. It's not going to be no moment where it's oh, all right, that was every time. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? So just the fact that they can keep up with the pacing of the show and control every single narrative, every aspect of the show is just phenomenal. Because when he showed up, I did not expect that at all. I was genuinely just fucked up. What the fuck?
Yo,
I was bro, Marx just destroyed the fucking world.
I had a point and I forgot it, and as soon as you said it, it came back to me, so I really appreciate you. What was your reaction for real? Because again, I knew that was coming. I didn't know when they were going to do it. You just got finished watching 45 minutes of Mark
Rex dying,
his life, people dying, things, and now all of a sudden you just got a Viltrumite just standing in front of him.
And not a Viltrumite. This was the Viltrumite I always remember. This was the motherfucker I knew was going to show up one day, and I did not know when.
So what was your reaction to that? In real time?
This nigga showed up like fucking Galactus. You know what I mean? This nigga was about to eat the world. This motherfucker showing up didn't mean like I couldn't even comprehend it. I still don't think I comprehend what that means.
Yep.
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like there's no way Mark wins this without some fucking miracle of some fucking sort.
Okay.
There's no way. Regardless, the way Mark was spitting at the end of that bitch, though.
Oh no, Mark's upset, bro. This
might be where Mark officially like lets everything out because he finally potentially has an opponent in which he has to. And he has no choice. And I was just saying this 1 second. I saw the light go off in your head. I apologize. Hold that thought.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I was just talking to someone I'm watching it with at the moment, like side by side. And I was saying how difficult it must be for Mark to constantly hold back his strength because I was getting pissed off. I was like, why the fuck is Mark always losing? We know he's stronger than these people. How is he getting like just messed up like this? And I was like, oh, he has to hold back. Because if he doesn't, he's going to fucking kill somebody.
He's Superman. Yeah, he's
Superman.
Yeah,
and
Superman.
It's like, even against the super powered, like he can still easily kill someone. And I was just like, wow, what a handicap he has to put himself in on a regular basis.
It's because of his moral compass. And
yes.
And that's because we've seen what he could do if he just when he had to get through all of the multi-pawls on the steps and he just was like slicing through them, bro.
Butter.
Like butter. 100% butter. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a situation where him having to hold back in that way is very reminiscent to Superman. And that's why I was going to say my point. Remember that episode of the Justice League when Superman finally got to fight Darkseid? I forgot what Darkseid did, but it was the episode of the Justice League. And Darkseid
was it?
It was Justice League. Or
I thought it was a
Limited?
movie.
No.
I thought it was one of the movies where he fought Darkseid.
Nah.
And at least I'm thinking of a different moment. All right, never mind.
He fought Darkseid in a couple of movies, but like the one that I'm talking about specific was from the animated series on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And they were, I think, on a sinking planet or ship or something. Because I remember at the end, Batman was like, yo, he's dead. And Superman was like, you're not always right, Bruce. And I remember being like, oh, okay, that was kind of dark for the boy Wonder. But he got there with Darkseid and he said, and I'll never get this because it's like the coldest moment I've ever had for Superman. He was like, this is one of the rare opportunities where I can let myself go. And he was so excited about it being one of the rare opportunities that he could let himself go.
I gotta find that clip. I don't remember that actually. Which is
my
nuts.
goodness.
Because I've rewatched Justice League Unlimited. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I did rewatch Justice League Unlimited. Maybe it was in the original one.
I just remember that quote, and I was like, that's the coolest I think I've ever seen Superman be, because he said, this is one of those, and he was pissed, because Darkseid had, like, done stuff, and, like, we had gotten to this point, and, like, everybody was away, they was, like, on some Goku stuff, where they flew somewhere, and it was just them, and he said, this is one of the rare opportunities where I can let myself go. Mark is in the situation where mentally, he's in a place where it's one of them rare opportunities where he can let himself go. And I
feel like he gonna go for it. I feel like he gonna be a lot more than expected for this old beastly freaking orca.
Thursday can't come fast enough. That's all I'm gonna say, bro.
Yes,
Thursday cannot go fast enough.
But yeah, they're doing a wonderful job. I like hearing the differences too that you can tell me about after reading the comics, and then just being like, oh wow, I can't believe they changed that. That's also a very cool perspective for me. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that one for sure. Maybe tonight, I don't know. But we got other things to watch, and one of them I was gonna
say, what's the thing you've been on lately, bro? Because
one of them being Saga of Tanya the Evil. And I'm going to shout you out on this one because I remember when you first started watching this. This was a long time ago, and I remember you sitting on the couch, and I just remember one moment where like I was looking at it, I was like, what is going on? And I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna watch this. It was like one episode where something was happening with a plane and this little girl in the air, and I was like, what is this mess? Point being is, I have finally gotten to that point and beyond it.
You met Tanya?
This is an evil motherfucker, yo. Like an evil in like a way where You know what? They're evil. They have a potential for evil. I think this is just a piece of shit. Because when we see this person in their... First and foremost, are we calling this an isekai? Is it isekai?
Oh, it's 100% isekai.
Okay, just making sure.
Absolutely
Just making sure the lines aren't getting blurred. Okay, anyways, when we saw who this person was in their first form, they were just doing their job without zero empathy. Laying people off and having no empathy or anything like that is just like, you got to be a piece of shit. He did everything to a T that was asked of him, as long as it was in the rule book.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the evil part yet, because at this point in time, as Tanya, he's just trying to live his life. Or he. I don't even know how we're going to refer to this at this point.
So I look at it like this. I think Tanya, from the standpoint of the mindset, because the same thing when I look at, and to be fair, it's been nice to rewatch this, because I'm gonna take this ride with you, rewatching Tanya the Evil after watching something like Jobless Reincarnation and getting invested there, because that was like the first Tanya the Evil was like my first time watching a isekai reincarnation type, and I was like, I don't know. I really enjoyed Jobless Reincarnations to the point where it gave me a better understanding and a better appreciation for the genre. And so that's why I was like, all right,
nice.
I could dive into it now. So getting an opportunity to rewatch and seeing just the way Tanya took the mentality that was there in the old world into the new one. And it's I look at it as evil in the like purest sense of the word in this regard, like the Webster's dictionary of evil. That's kind of how it feels, because it's so devoid of emotion that it's like almost machine-like. And so because of that efficiency, that's where we get into evil, because you're going to be put in these situations where the only evil people will continue to do things by the rules at this point. And that's kind of where I look at Tanya as a character, which is why now I'm very much invested in the show, because I mean, like, being a nasty soldier is one thing. Being a nasty soldier while also doing things so by the book that you are mechanical and as a soldier, therefore a literal human
killing
weapon,
machine.
You are a weapon. That's evil. And so that's where I'm like, all right, we might have some here. It's crazy. It's a crazy show. I ain't gonna
here's
lie.
The thing. I like your point. And I think that is a good way to rationalize or just view it. My only kickback there is, you do see Tanya display levels of emotional intelligence outside of a self-serving attitude.
Okay.
Because that's why Tanya's doing it, to get back to a life where they can be comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And also to get back at God, I guess.
X.
Yeah,
as Tanya's going to call
X.
it.
Yeah, X.
And so that's the only kickback I have of that. Because, for example, I can't remember her name at the moment, but giving her the option to be on the officer track and get out of the battlefield, she knew. Tanya knew that she didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But she displayed levels of like courage and whatnot that Tanya could respect. And I think because of that.
So now you bring up a very interesting point, because where is that line of having emotional intelligence by the book of, I know what this is. I know what it means to be sad, to be depressed, to be inspired, to be brave. I know what that means. And for it actually making you feel something. And then having those emotions dictate your actions, because that's what makes us human. And that gets back to, again, evil.
So no, I gotta kick back on that one too, because like you can't know what they mean and not. If you know what they mean, then you have to also be able to show empathy, real empathy. For example, just to relate it back to Freerin, right?
Okay.
The demons, they were just copying what humans did.
Okay.
They didn't have a full understanding of any of it.
Okay. All right. Fair.
They didn't have an understanding of any of it.
What is a father?
Any of it.
Yeah. What is a father? Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, if you have even an inkling of understanding, you don't turn out to be a demon. You might be an evil fuck for sure, but maybe not a demon exactly. But to kind of get back to my point of the Tanya part is just that we didn't just see it for the officer track, giving it to, Tanya brought her back. And then like she cares about her company.
Caring about, but is it from a selfish place? Like I don't want to.
I think it is and it isn't, because that speech, you'll get there when you remember it.
Yeah.
Tanya gave a speech and I was like, oh yeah, okay. There's emotion in that. There's emotion in that speech.
But then how manipulative is it? And just for y'all understanding where I'm at. I have watched a lot of Tanya the Terrible, not a lot, but I've watched enough of Tanya the Terrible to understand the story and remember. It was years ago. I don't remember. I'm rewatching now.
I think you might change your opinion when you rewatch and you get to where I am. I think you might change your opinion.
Yeah, I completely understand.
And I think that's the point potentially overall, where it's like, this is how Tanya finds God.
I definitely think that's the point. I 100% think
you're going to continuously learn and grow and look.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Learning empathy. I think they're in this reincarnation stage to learn something, to grow, so they can be reincarnated again into something better.
So, like, and that's actually crazy because you just basically said recycling humans, but
that's what it is. It's reincarnation,
souls. But no, like recycling souls for the betterment to push like humanity forward. That's a
no,
way.
No, not to push humanity forward. That's the point of reincarnation. You're supposed to like grow and then reincarnate into something else, something better, like
like the actual like.
Yeah,
got you. Because it's a continuous like. Got you. No, but the point I was going to make is going back to jobless reincarnation, because again, that's where my bread and butter is when it comes to isekai. Lay, it's always interesting to watch Rudy in jobless reincarnation and see how he was a shut-in in his previous life. He had no friends. He pushed everyone else away. He didn't understand or appreciate other people. Although he knew they existed, he was so in his own head, in his own world, that nothing else mattered, and he just was unhappy. Going into the new world where he was loved as a child all the way through, he was able to have the knowledge. He's still a little deviant. I'm never going to sit here. Look, we said it before.
Some habits die hard.
If you don't like jobless reincarnation, I'm not going to be mad at you. I can't. Like this is a lot of stuff Rudy be doing that's not okay. Most of it actually. But the point being is that there's at least an effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a desire,
a genuine effort to grow and be better. Yeah.
I'm interested to see if I'm going to see that from Tanya. And now, granted, genuine effort.
Where I am, if you ask me personally, I can see that occurring.
Is it intentional?
I think so. I think
really?
It's
okay.
I think hold on. I think it's more like a habit right now, where it's like a habit you don't really recognize. You know, sometimes you look at a person, you know some habits that they have, and they don't really recognize it. It's just normal everyday things for them. I think what's occurring is that good things are becoming habits for Tanya.
Okay.
And Tanya may not recognize it, but it's happening. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. You may view this and actually think a little bit differently. And I think it's very subtle. I'm not saying like there's been huge steps and huge growth options here for Tanya, but I do believe that that's happening very subtly.
Okay.
And I think where the show's going to end up probably being cool or good is watching that develop and watching that occur.
Honestly, I'm excited to see it. And that's why, for me, even though it has been quite some time since I've watched Tanya the Evil, I keep wanting to say Tanya the Terrible because it just rolls. It rolls right over. It
does. Like Saga of Tanya the Evil. There it is.
Yeah, Saga of Tanya the Evil. But and I know there's a movie out, and I think they just announce that they're coming back with like another season, and that's why it's like gotten a little bit more of a boost.
I think that's probably why it popped up in my head, and like why I ended up watching it, from being honest.
Because I think I heard that it's getting a new season. So season 2, we can get something here and go roll right on into that. That'll be kind of nice. I mean, I said we're starting to get a bunch of really great shows coming back around on top of the ones that we are just now. I'm waiting for something to finish. I'm not gonna lie, I am waiting for something to finish because everybody's getting extra seasons, but like it takes a little while to announce. Like I want to get from a start to a finish of something soon, but I think My Hero's gonna scratch that itch, especially if they stick the landing. But we'll see when we get there.
We'll see. I mean, just because I want to say it again because we said it. This last season is gonna be the difference between like how legendary of an anime my hero actually is.
Yep, 100%. But yo, speaking of legendary anime, and I think this is a legendary anime, Freerin, bro. Freerin. Shout out everybody that told me to watch Freerin for months, and I just was being like stubborn. And shout out to you for taking this journey like along. Like you took the journey first, and then
I jumped in, and it was random. I was just like, you know what, I gotta catch this, and then I just did.
I mean, it's free.
I'm very thankful.
I'm thankful too. So where are you at now?
It wasn't on my radar, like, too heavily. At least in terms of paying attention to it.
So where are you at now? Remind me where you are.
She's about to not Freerin. Yeah, she's about to. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. First class mage exam. So this is episode 18.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so that's like the second arc. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I was off the last couple of days. I finished it. I couldn't. It was that joint. They got something.
What would you say the first arc was?
The demons. No, actually, I lied. I would say the first arc is her and Fern before they left. Once her and Fern left, that's the end of the first arc. From episode 1 to when her and Fern leave is one arc. Then the second arc goes.
I feel like it's more of an act.
See, I think the acts broke. See, I think this would be Act 2 if this was an act. Act 2 starts at the mage exam. Okay. That's how I would look at it if I went it that way. But I would say arc-wise, that's the first arc. The second arc would be from like right after they left, finding Stark, going up until they get to the demons, and then the demon arc is its own arc. So that's how I would look at it. But did you get to the episode with Old Man Vol?
Yes,
bro. Tell me, Old Man Vol wasn't great.
He was cool.
I texted you. I liked Old Man Vol.
I liked him, and I can't wait to see what Stark learned from him. There's no way he didn't learn some crazy stuff, because soon as Stark and then pulled up, and the way he just like bodied him so effortlessly, I can't imagine what he learned from that. So
one thing that from that episode that really excited me across the board, and you see it the rest of the way through, is, and I'm telling you this because I want you to look for it. It's the joy and happiness that Freerin had on her face the whole time she was talking with him. You're starting to see the shift, like in her body language around how
she's a little more up.
Yeah, a lot more up.
Like a lot more physically up. Too.
Yeah, like you could see it in her body language, in her smiling, in her face, in her interactions, and like you really start to see it at that Old Man Vol episode because of the fact that, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to be able to talk to some. I've been alive for 900 years, and like all of y'all been alive for like no more than like 75. But here's a dude who's been alive for 400. Bro, I could talk about the 80s.
Yeah.
Hold on, we can talk about the 80s for a little bit. Let's talk about the 80s. So like I can't imagine. But I
think it's also just like this is the only person she knows that has been around even an inkling of the amount of time that she has been. And I feel like there's got to be a level of camaraderie that like we can't even comprehend between them. You're like the last living motherfuckers in your existence, other than the other like elves or dwarves or stuff you don't know, but you don't know them. So as far as I'm concerned, I ain't seen one in a long time. Like
that's the thing that's so crazy is like when you're in a situation where, and wait, did you are you at so you're at Mage 1, so you met the priest and you the priest was there and all of that.
Yes.
I liked his character. I kind of wanted him to stay around with them. I wasn't surprised that he left because he said that was the whole reason why, but
he's coming back, obviously. I can't see him not coming back. I feel like they just made his character a little too. They gave his character too much screen time. Like, you know what I mean? They gave us too much about him, I feel like, in order to not bring him back. I will say that if they don't, then I guess, you should expect things like that. That's kind of like one of the major, like, kind of, I won't say points, but one of the major kind of things about this show is, remembering things that are no longer there, appreciating them, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe we don't get them back. And that's the point of it.
I look at it from the standpoint of you also think about it from, you're an adventurer. You may never see these people again. And it's to your point, like we might
be dead.
dude, there were
I
times
get
where
the feeling Gorilla might be dead.
there are
but-
definitely times because I still don't know. I still don't know. So there are definitely times where I'm wondering if Gorilla was like, is he dead? Because like I get not coming back after 3 years because you're on an
10
adventure.
is like
10 is like, yo, you good? You're not good out there, are you?
because the only party that we know of as of right now that traveled together for 10 years was, the party that went to kill the Demon King.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Emerald
unless you
Story.
got, them on your squad, traveling, adventuring wise, 10 years by yourself, especially, is probably really dangerous.
Yeah, incredibly. I wouldn't, even when he went off and walked on his own and he was like, man, walking, traveling by yourself is kind of lonely. I felt bad. I was like, damn, man, like,
why you leave, bro?
I honestly, that's going to be the thing for me that I'm sad about. I wanted him to stay and be a part of the crew. I want them to be a quartet similar to that of Freeman's first group because I think it will come full circle and maybe we get there eventually. But I wanted Brock there, bro. Like I wanted Brock to be along for the ride. It felt more complete when it was 4. Because of the fact they were like eating together, they were walking around. If somebody got injured, I love them explaining priest magic too. Because I didn't know what the heck.
So I kind of had an idea to some degree because you play enough World of Warcraft and things of that nature. A lot of times priests have like healing magic, and healing magic typically consists of like removing curses and like all these things of that nature. Priests are typically just pure healers. So to me, that made sense.
Okay, perfect. Because I had a feeling
this priest feels more like a paladin than just a straight up priest. He's a priest, but he has battle magic, and it looks like he has pretty good control over some battle magic. Yeah, so interesting.
I thought his storyline was good too. I've been harping on the priest because I liked him as a character. Like out of all the characters that they had there, I thought like Freerin as a main character, I think is amazing. I think she is a phenomenal main character, like historically good main character. I don't think that's out of the realm to say at all. But I like the priest character and watching him struggle with that. Do I leave? Do I go? I know it's a trope we've seen before, but the scene of his brother like slapping him across the face and like, what are you doing? Like, I just really felt that as I would want my brother to do something like that. Like I would want get out of here. You're supposed to be doing more with this. And for him not to recognize that and then blame him staying there on his older brother, like that he was like, you're not about to blame me for something you don't want to do. Get out of here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I thought that was just a really well done, well executed part of his character. And it also, for me, brought in his story a little bit more. So I got him a little bit more emotionally invested there. And that's why I'm like, bro, why are you leaving? Like, what you doing, bro? We supposed to go visit heaven together. Why are you leaving?
Mm-hmm. I mean, but at least and this is why I think he's going to come back, at least in my opinion. He's got to finish the first arc for himself. He hasn't finished his first arc yet.
Okay. That's fair. He might not have been a part of our story. He might not have been a main character in our story, but we might not have been a main character in his story either.
Exactly.
So
he's got to finish his first arc, man.
Okay.
Like he was supposed to take his hand and he didn't. He got to go finish. He got to go see. He got to see that through.
I can respect that. I can respect
that.
So
see it through, my boy.
I do hope he comes back around. I want the one thing I said real quick there, and I said it in a mini rant there, but I remember I did want to ask you this. Where is Freerin as a main character for you? Like, where do you put her stack echelon wise? I don't want to rate, but I'm just
I don't want to go.
Who's comparable? Who's a feeling that you get? Another main character that gave you a similar feeling to Freerin?
I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that.
I've been thinking about it too because I can't land on something because this feels so different from anything I've watched before.
I was literally about to say I have to think about it simply because I don't think I've thought about that once, and I don't know if I can categorize her as a main character, or not as a main character, but categorize her in a way that would do her a disservice.
Yeah,
because she feels so unique as a character that she just may be her own thing. I think maybe in the future we may be comparing other main characters to her.
Okay. That's
You
okay.
know what I
She's
mean?
gonna be
And
the one that we compare everyone else to in the way that she's on the pedestal.
yes,
We're all just trying to get there.
yeah, she's in one of those kind of categories. And so, and just think about it. We obviously have like, you know, some characters who are tropes and they do it very well, but like, you know, they transcend a little bit, but they'll never be whatever the ultimate thing is. Like, there's never going to be another Vegeta. You know what I mean? But Vegeta is, there are plenty of characters like Vegeta now.
Bakugo. Like Bakugo's the
Come
first
on.
one that comes to mind. Bakugo.
And so,
yeah.
is of that ilk. That's what I mean.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's hard, but I'll think about that, you know, after the pod for sure, and just see what I can kind of cook up and just really have that comparison to, because I think it's very difficult as a main character.
Yeah,
Obviously, there are characters who have like other traits very similar. Like Neji, for example, had somewhat. I think Neji has somewhat similar traits in terms of like the demeanor. Very just calm, like calculated. Don't think too much. You know, they just like really like that. And so,
I
that's
think
the first thing that came to mind, at least.
No, that's cool because it's very boom, boom, boom in the way that Freeman definitely was boom, 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 especially at the start. Like she started getting to that point while they were on the 10-year journey. I look at Freeman and I look at where emotionally I feel like a character got me, because there are times where I just like my heart melts watching Freeman, and then there's times where like I like I said last week, she got boss bitch energy. Like she runs the gamut in a way that the spectrum, I should say, the spectrum is so like she's such a character that she can be funny and silly, but then she could be like the coldest character you've ever seen. So like, who's a character that can go? The lazy answer would be someone like Luffy, and I'm not trying to say that, but like someone who can be cold, like cold when they do something, but then can be so silly and lovable and fun and just wholesome.
See, I don't look at she's very wholesome, but I don't look at her as like funny and like cheerful and jolly and whatnot. I feel like she's a little closer to monotone, and she's figuring those things out.
Okay,
like those other emotions. That's how I view her.
Fair.
I feel like she's always cold and calculated, except for the times, you know, that we're seeing right now and the growth and all that. So I don't know. Honestly, that's a good question. I gotta really think about that one,
bro. This anime is so good, bro. It got me thinking.
Yeah, man. It just makes you think about some shit, man. 100%. It just makes you think about some shit.
I
can't wait to finish the first season, man.
I don't like. I get that we're gonna get more Freeman, and I'm not mad that we're getting more Freeman. But this pocket that I'm in, I would have been cool if they just was like, well, Freeman just went on her journey, and like that was it. Like I would be good.
No, you're waiting for something. You're waiting for that comeback.
Yeah, like I'm good to wait for the comeback. I'm gonna be there when it dropped. But like it was such a well told story in itself that even if they were like, all right, this is just gonna be all the Freeman, like that'd be it.
You'd be okay with that. Sort of like Ranking of Kings.
Like just
where it ended,
good.
I was so good about it.
I'm just good. I'm like, and I'm again, I want it back. I'm not saying, oh no, we don't need season 2 or 3. No, I want season 2. But it's a testament to how good of an anime it is that I just feel I'm like, I'm not anxious. I'm not waiting for nothing. I'm like, you know, I just enjoyed that. Like that was just like I just had a nice hot like
cup of coffee.
I was gonna say bowl of soup. Like, you know, you get like a nice bowl of soup on a cold day, and it's just hearty.
You got hit with the Campbell's commercial,
bro. I just like, yo, for real. Like, I just came in from the snowstorm. I just came right in front of the fire, bro. Like, I mean, I just cracked a good book and stuff. I'm in the chair, like I'm good. That's where I'm at with Freeman. So
really living your life. I mean, I think the last anime I've seen that's made me feel like this, and I just mentioned it was Ranking of Kings.
That was
just like I just got everything I needed out of this.
Yeah,
and like I was so satisfied with how it ended. I was just perfectly fine with it. Great show. I am curious to see. Obviously, you finished the first season, so I won't like go too deep into this question. Or rather, like thought and idea is that I'm very curious to see how this progresses. Because I'll have maybe a better idea when I get to the end of the season. However, where's the conflict? Like I feel like there's no overarching like looming death kind of, or like overall big thing that's going to occur. And I'm kind of waiting for that to drop.
I
and
disagree.
It hasn't yet.
I disagree. And this is not a spoiler because I will tell you where I thought the overarching story came in.
I
The
think
demons.
I have an idea what you're going to say.
Demons.
Yes.
The demons.
So, no, but like, okay. I hear you. That is what we could, like, that's what we can latch onto as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there are no other demons.
See,
like, there probably are other demons, but bro, the Demon King is dead.
The Demon King is dead, but
is
his
there
army
a real
isn't.
threat?
His army hasn't. So they've been talking about the whole. I think it's the
generals. And
yeah, like they've been talking about like the demons have been more active. They've been throwing the hinters throughout the whole season. Demons been more active. That remember when they had to get like the procession out of that one town where Freerin didn't think they were gonna get be able to get through. They were like, we're not letting nobody through because the demon activity has been a little bit more. Like they've been revving up that there are more demons coming around. And then even when she fought Aura, which I'm so happy you got to that fight.
I had watched that one before you.
I know, but it's like it's still just like, oh my god, bro.
No, it was good, and like I really enjoyed it. But I
think
wonder,
they're the
overarching
overarching villains,
and I want to know how they're going to do that because like when I watch the fights in Freerin, they don't really feel like fights to me. You know, they're clean. I like them. I'm thoroughly enjoying them. I like that it's like simple, short. You know what I mean? It's not like it doesn't feel like a straight up shonen. And I think I like that because that's kind of where the show is also taking me as well. You know, it's lighthearted. It has these very wholesome moments. Even the conflict doesn't feel like conflict, kind of. Like, obviously it is, you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't feel like they're raising the stakes so much just to get to that conflicting fight. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're watching just to make things easy. You know when Luffy about to get into that shit. They building it. They building it for the whole season. You know who they're gonna fight. You get there. Now we fucking fighting. So I feel like we have not experienced that feeling yet, even though it's supposed to be a shonen. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm looking for it. I'm not saying I even want it. But if they're gonna bring it back for a second season, and if we're ramping up towards that potentially, which could be demons, I wonder how that's gonna go.
So I will say a lot of your answers are going to get answered. A lot of your questions are going to get answered. They're going to get answered. They are definitely going to get answered. Not all of them. I do not think all of them will be, but you will have a better once you wrap up, because like I said, they added a lot in these last like 10 episodes. These last 10 episodes, you're going to get hit with not a lot, but they're going to expand the story in a way that felt like, again, Act 2. Like we were talking about before, Act 1, Act 2. This is gonna start to feel like Act 2. So you're gonna get a lot of the answers to those questions once you wrap up these last 10. I can say that right now. But yo, any other thoughts on Freeman before we hit this last one?
No, I'll leave that one where it is. For now.
I'm excited to see you watch that.
Next week I'll be all caught up. We could finish out the first season. Ooh, sorry, y'all.
Yo, also because the next thing,
losing
bro, the next
hour
thing
hurt.
I don't even want to talk about it. It helped that I got to like kind of sleep the last days before, because like I said, I work tomorrow. I was off the last couple of days, so like I'm not looking forward to that first alarm bell ringing tomorrow morning. That's gonna be tough. That one gonna be tough. Like, what you mean? It's still 7.
I think I'm good now because I went to bed pretty early last night. Like I knew I needed to just to try to account for this.
Yeah, because that's where I'm gonna end up being tonight. But yo, next thing I'm telling you, because the new season coming out, and I said it before we started here, bro. The next one for you has got to be Windbreaker. I'm telling you, the next one for you got to be Windbreaker, and I'm saying this as somebody who knows you, bro. Someone who knows you, bro. Windbreaker got to be the next one for you, and I say that wholeheartedly because
I feel like. Okay.
And season 2 about to drop. Season 2 is definitely about to drop.
I remember us talking about it briefly on the pod. A few episodes back. And I remember looking it up, and I was trying to think about what it reminded me of. And
how Tokyo Revengers was supposed to be.
Windbreakers anime.
Yeah. I don't even.
I remember you telling me, a good amount about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like, if I'm being honest, just from the looks of it, I was getting like Blue Lock vibes.
Okay, I
And
can
it made
see.
me feel like,
Okay, so
and
here's
then
the
maybe
thing.
I need to get out of my head
You do
about
not
it
get out of your
and
head.
just
100%
like
out of your head.
watch
100%
it.
out of your head. 100% out of your head.
But
As
yeah,
I've watched both. And I'll tell you, I love Blue Lock. You know I love Blue Lock. Blue Lock is this past season of Blue Lock is one of the best seasons I've watched in recent memory. It was, especially the finale. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so
brother.
good.
About to hit you with the SpongeBob.
I got so caught up in my Blue Lock analysis, I forgot where I was going. No, but
Oh my god.
what I'm saying is Windbreaker and Blue Lock are not similar, not even art style wise. Like
Okay.
the
Yeah, they're not art style. I just feel like I was just getting like a weird feeling.
they're in high school. They are in high school, but hands. Like
I know you told me they just be fighting.
Hands, bro. And there's no like intergalactic power levels. Ain't nobody doing nothing great. Just straight
Intergalactic power levels.
hands, bro. It is such a good just hands. Because like we get hands in Solo Leveling. We do. We get hands in Solo. But we get hands with a little bit of magic. When was the last time you just saw hands? Just straight hands. I'm talking like what's the Megalobox? I'm talking like, you remember Megalobox straight hands, but Megalobox was hands with like bender arms and stuff. Yeah, like bro, no, fisticuffs. Like put them up, bro. That is Windbreaker. Put them up. And I need you, bro.
I know you're hyping it. Like I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there.
Watch the first episode and you'll be there.
I'm going to. No. I can't. I cannot right now. I need to finish Freeran. And I need to finish.
Yo, Tanya. Tell AU to watch. Where you at? Tell
and I need
AU to watch
finish Tanya. Once I finish those two, like I'm good. I can probably start something else. But as of right now, I need to finish those two.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Tanya. I'm trying to see what the next thing I want to watch that's on my watch list. I had a couple. I had a couple that were like top of line that I was like, because Freeman was on that list. Terror in Resonance is one that I might start. It's like I've heard really good things about it.
Terror as in like planet?
No, Terror, like Terror in Resonance. It's like a classic old one. Older
Terror in Resonance.
Yeah, okay. Older-ish. I think like 06, 08, somewhere in that
14.
ballpark. 14. Not as old as I thought. But I might start that one. Link Click is on the list. You're Lying April. We got a bunch of
I remember seeing this when it came out.
There's a couple. Like, I'm trying to get to something that I can knock out really quick before the new season starts. Because when the new season starts, it's a clean slate. It's everything that's coming out in the new season. I may have one or two that I'm kind of slow burning as I go along. Another one that I would be remiss in saying it, and I want you to watch. I'm going to say this. I want you to watch Windbreaker before this other one, because Windbreaker is coming back, and you are going to slow burn this one. And the season's not over yet, so when the season's over yet, you're going to slow burn it. But I need to have the recordings of me telling you how much you were going to love this anime. Sakamoto Days is going to be one of the best anime you watch. Sakamoto Days.
Wait.
Oh my god!
I've been waiting for Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days has got like 10, 11 episodes, bro. And at first I was like, all right, let me see what Sakamoto Days is hitting on. And I watched like the first two, and I was like, I really like those. Let me go back. I could watch Sakamoto Days. Then I watched like 3, 4, 5,
and then blam.
And then I was like, I gotta keep watching this, bro. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bro, was like, it is.
So was there like a point, or was it more of like a slow realization to how much you were just liking it? Or did something occur?
The latter.
Like a moment?
No, it was definitely the latter. It was a slow realization, not only of how much I was liking it, how consistently good it was. Like across the board. Like there's, you know how you hit like episode 8 and there's like a little bit of a dip. But you're still there, but there's always like that scene or two that's like a little bit of a dip. I haven't hit the dip yet, bro. I've been just smooth sailing. There hasn't been a dip in 10 episodes. In 10 every time I think the dip is coming, they do something crazy that the dip don't happen. And I'm like, but it's not just action. It's not just, it's just the show.
Yeah, it's just whatever the show is.
It's just the show. And it has a nostalgic feel to it that I wasn't anticipating. Because remember, I compared it a little bit to like a less ridiculous version of Gintama. And I say that with love because I genuinely enjoy Gintama. A less ridiculous version of Gintama. It has like vibes of not a 90s, but like an early 2000s anime where like, you know, when like a moment would happen and like there'd be like the sunset and they be just kind of walking and you're just chilling.
It's all nice and warm and shit.
It's all nice and warm.
If somebody
and then,
fucking dies.
Yeah, no. But then they do something funny at the end, and it's just so like, yeah, they're all like, it's.
Oh, okay. I was expecting something bigger, but that's fine too. That's not that there's a problem.
But that's what I'm saying. They do it in a way that's so consistent across the board that it just feels like, oh man, I'm watching something good here. I'm enjoying this. This is like a different kind of enjoyment to compare to like the free run. The free run enjoyment was like, I just watched something that like is gonna stick with me for a very long time.
Okay.
Sakamoto Days is more enjoyable in the sense of how much I'm enjoying something like Kaiju number 8. Not saying it's the same anime, but like across the board, no matter what you giving me, I'm eating it. It's on the table, it's on the plate. I'm like, all right, we here. You get this some good right here. There's some good. So I'm gonna be on that Sakamoto Days bandwagon for quite some time.
All right.
But yeah,
that's a good comparison. That makes me excited. It actually bumps up my
Windbreaker Sakamoto Days, and then I'm gonna leave you alone.
No. But the thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you. Here's the thing. I knew for a fact that I was always going to watch Sakamoto Days. I just wanted to have that slow burn. So I might have to give it an episode now.
Yeah, I didn't know
to get myself in.
One.
I watched the first one. I watched the first episode, and I was like, yeah, I gotta let this one slow burn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you might have to give it one.
So I'm gonna watch episode 2 and see what it's cracking on. Because you hyping this now.
It is good.
Not that I didn't think it would be.
No. But like, it's not. I'm not gassing it for something it's not deserved. It's not that it's not deserved. Yo, AU man. Last thing I want to hit here before we let these fine folks go about their business. We weren't gonna hit solo leveling too much, except for one thing that we have both been seeing kind of going across. And I know we've talked about it. You said it specifically a couple episodes ago, and like I've seen it go both ways, especially people that have read solo leveling are like, bro, it's not that. Are we getting the Chimera Ant arc from Hunter x Hunter? Like I saw a giant something hatch out of an egg, and the queen one. Are we getting the same arc?
So here's the thing. I think. Now, granted, obviously, we have not read, the not comics, sorry, the manhwa. Is that how you say it?
Manhwa?
Manhwa?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. But I'm gonna have to look that one up so I can, be smart and shit.
I mean, they gonna come after you. They gonna come after you. I'm gonna just let you know that,
bro. I don't give a damn. The internet isn't real. Anyways, Damn, you made me lose my train of thought.
No, we was talking about the fact you didn't read solo leveling.
Okay, so we haven't read anything, so we don't have the full scope of what that looks like. This arc, obviously, other people do. So the people that are arguing that it's not the Chimera Ant arc, you might have a point. But as of right fucking now, it's the Chimera Ant arc. And now here's the thing. My opinion will more than likely change based off of what I'm hearing from other people. And I want to let you know, even after I see it all, watch it all, read it all, whatever, it's still going to be the Chimera Ant arc. And the reason why is this.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not think that's what you're.
Hear me out. I'm fucking around a little bit. But my overall point is this. My overall point is this. So this will more than likely develop into its own thing for the show. Solo Leveling's arc that is very similar to the Chimera Ant arc will more than likely be its own thing. We'll probably end up looking back and be like, yeah, that's not the Chimera Ant arc. However, if people want to also call it the Chimera Ant arc, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, if somebody did something almost word for word what you're doing right now, is it not, can you be mad that someone's calling it the Chimera Ant arc? There is a queen. It was feeding its, children to see which one was going to be the strongest or trying to grow it or whatever so it can basically branch out and take over the world. And if I recall correctly, the same exact thing happened in Hunter x Hunter.
It was like, I think the queen actually was saying, and I'll just because I was watching, the queen was like, "All right, I don't want y'all eating each other. I see it's making y'all strong, but I don't want y'all eating each other. We got to go somewhere and get more food."
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the egg was massive, the fact that the thing that broke out like powered up as he came out, I honestly was waiting for them to feel it on the island. I was waiting for them to feel the power level on the island, but it showed me that
might have any magic ability. It might just be all hands.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Indeed.
And even though we may be getting a different story, I'm expecting a different story for Solo Leveling here. I don't think it's going to be the Chimera Ant arc. You best believe if it is, I'm going to talk my stuff, but I don't believe it's going to be the Chimera Ant arc. And if it is, it's one of those things where, again, you just have to let dude cook because they've given us, they have the benefit of the doubt right now because they've done so well. So they can get the benefit of the doubt. But if you're going to start a story the same way as someone else already did, it better be different.
Mm-hmm.
It better be different.
There's going to have to be something very different that occurs, like extremely different. Because if it turns out to just be this motherfucker is now the strongest ant, and then they're raiding this motherfucker, and then Jin has to show up and kill it, that is exactly what happened in the Chimera Ant arc.
It show up and kill it is the part that's crazy. It show up and kill it is great. Because, like, even his first kill, even the ant's first kill, when he just lopped off the chick's head and he was like, oh, what just happened? And the episode
That's
ended.
what happened to Kite.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, didn't we see something kind of similar? Like, again, I'm not hating. I
wasn't even shocked that happened. I'm not gonna
No,
lie
of
to
course
you.
not. You knew
I wasn't even shocked that her head
I didn't know which one it was going to be. I thought it was, honestly was going to be all three of them. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was all three of them. I just didn't know who it was going to be.
And I want to know if that's the king or not, or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Well, technically, is it a difference if it's Prince as opposed to King?
Dude, only Lord knows. I'm just trying to not, piss off the Chimera Ant arc people.
I mean, I actually think those Solo Leveling people are the ones that are more annoyed because they're like, it's not the Chimera Ant arc.
No, that's what I mean. The people screaming that like it's not. I just didn't phrase it too well.
It's I was gonna say it's like that meme, that Family Guy meme, where like they're all sitting on the couch and they're all like decked out to the nines, and Meg is like, "It's not. You're just trying to say I'm not all the rest of you." It's literally that. I don't know.
But I'm still gonna enjoy it, even if it is the Chimera Ant arc. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy it.
I mean, 2.0. Sometimes the sequel could be as good as the first one. No,
it ain't that often.
It happens though. It does happen though.
It does 100%. It ain't that often. However, I'm gonna watch the shit out of it, regardless if it is or it isn't. I'm excited for next episode though, because I'm gonna need a little something more than just her head getting lopped off, because I've seen that already.
I'm getting to the point, and I'll say this before we close out. I'm getting to the point where I want to, and this is going to be akin to the conversation I was having before about how sometimes the mage World of Warcraft, like Dungeons and Dragons style, starts to get a little like stale. I sent a video to you. Somebody was doing an interview and they were like, anime in the 90s used to be better because and it was, again, because I had literally been saying something very similar a couple weeks before. Like, there used to be more imagination. Now this person specifically like harped on the point of like every big anime now is like in high school, which is a trope that it didn't hit me, but at the same time it
doesn't bother me, because I just view it as like a fiction thing.
But it's also not wrong. It is an observation. It
is a very correct observation. But it doesn't bother me. It's just like
but I think that there does need to be more variety, because I'm still at
I agree
point now where I'm enjoying it. I am. But Tanya the Terrible was something, and I wanted to bring this point up before, because even though it's mage, it's like a play on mage. You know what I mean? Like, they got magic powers, but it's a play on it a little bit, because they're not out in the wilderness fighting monsters and beasts. They have war. They in World War I with magic powers. Yep. Like Cowboys and Alien type thing. So that's where I'm, in my head, that's what I'm thinking. So I don't know. I'm interested to see where that's going to go, because I want more stories that are going to be like that, but I also want more stories that are going to be like, just give me something new. Give me something fresh. I love
Free Reign is what feels fresh for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Free Reign also feels like the best of that genre I've ever seen.
Okay, we can look at it like that. I just mean, like, at least for me, it's not as prevalent as it felt when I was growing up watching these anime. Because, Ranking of Kings came out, and I get it's on the same tier. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I know this is a one of a kind thing, and I'm gonna remember it forever. And like, it did a lot for me. And it wasn't just straight up hands. It wasn't just straight up fights. You know, we got the feels, we got the fights, we got a very unique, interesting story. With a very unique main character. And so I think we're getting it. I just think we're not getting it as often as like some people may want.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not as often as some people may want, but oh well, I'm gonna still enjoy it.
Facts. But
still enjoy it.
I will say though, it would be cool to get a little bit more adult themed anime. A little bit more than that. I did agree with her point to some degree. I just didn't completely agree with it. It doesn't like bother me. I don't view them like, yeah, they're teenagers in the show, and all these like a lot of anime are just like with what would be younger children or teens or whatever, young adults, but it's all fiction. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not real, so I'm just going to enjoy the story.
I'm enjoying the story too, but again, it brought up a good point because it made me feel like I definitely was watching more adult themed shows back in the day. Now, granted, are you trying to sell more? So therefore you got to make it be more inclusive of other people, but they'll have like your horror genres with crazier stuff potentially. But I would like to see like, I don't want a Death Note, but can I get something of the Death Note ilk? Like, you know what I mean? Can I get something a little bit more adult themed? Can I get something a little bit more darker? Like, I know it's out there, but like, let's make it more mainstream.
We gotta find it.
Way. Yeah, let's make it more mainstream.
We gotta find it. We gotta find it.
But yo, AU, man, we about to slide on up out of here, I should say. Slide on up out of here, man. I need to eat. That's what that's telling me. I've been like,
honestly, I'm kind of hungry too.
I'm like, I need to eat. But it's been. I'm about to go cook after this. But yo,
also,
AU,
I got
man,
really dark here, real fast.
Facts. I thought the sun was supposed to be out. But yo, you got something you want to leave the people with before we slide on up out of here, AU?
Man, you already know. It's always room on the couch, baby.
Always, always, always. Now, listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Rate us, review us. Check us out on our socials at Couch Stealers and subscribe to the Couch Stealers YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop something brand spanking new. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all as always. We're going to be back next week with another dandy one. But until then, always rule.
Peace.